Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder! Bring the thunder! Let's work. Bring the thunder! Let's go. Bring the thunder! Let's work. Bring the thunder! Let's work. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Well, good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson Knight, of course, and I have my cubby with the most, Mr. Techy Joe. Techy Joe, it has been a fun week. I've gotten to show off some skills, people. I've gotten to show off some skills with my colleagues, and I think I kind of impressed them with the ability I have to crunch numbers and statistics and behavioral patterns, and that was fun. And I think I got to impress you tonight because I got to show you, like, no, honey, I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. That's one way to describe it. Yes. Someone else could go with, okay, let me pose question to the audience here, much like was posed to me earlier. If someone says, hey, go to Michael's, what do you extrapolate from that? So already, I'll take a moment while we get some information in there. And hey, Shannon. Hey, Ashley. And Mika.
Yes, Mika. Hello, darlings.
Yes.
Yes.
And
hello,
Facebook
Ashley,
user.
mother-in-law. How are you doing tonight? What are you doing in on a Friday night, honey? I thought you had a full appointment calendar.
Well, damn, you spent Tuesday telling her all her men were trash.
If someone suggests you do something, do you not think that they already have an idea of what they would like to occur?
And no, that was no. What we posed was if someone said, hey, go to Michael's, what would you extrapolate from that? And Google apparently wants to get in on that. Oh no, Facebook user. I would think most are either going to be on the Psychic Coffee Shop Facebook page, watching the video there, or they're going to be on the Mountain Bears page watching the video from there. Ashley says, go get craft supplies.
See?
Oh, really? Okay. Now, Ashley, did you take from that? Oh, no. See, I already know there is a sale, and it is on the following items, and you should buy those while you're there. I'm just saying.
Uh-huh.
I thought suggestion. Like, if you get a chance, go by Michael's. Hey, Kathy. Ooh, Ashley even says, of course not. That's a life trick, though. I'd just be sitting over here drinking my tea.
Mm-hmm. You sit over there and drink your tea.
Hey, Kathy, great to see you made it in.
There you go, Kathy. Now you're with everybody else.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for me, that means, hey, if you have time or feel like doing it, just go by Michael's, Okay.
But it was very interesting conversation with him in general this evening because it just showed me that he still doesn't understand that I don't make suggestions. It's like I already know things are ahead of time and can apparently be his concierge to certain things.
Well, like I need like I keep what I was trying to explain to you is you're burying the lead. Go to Michael's, there's a sale. All I needed to hear, I'd be good. If I go to Michael's because you said, hey, go to Michael's, and I see there's a sale, I'm going to instantly start panicking because I'm going to be loading up because there's a fucking sale, dude. Oh, fuck. I got to explain this. Oh, shit. You know how you said go to Michael's?
Yes, dear, did you get the Happy Planner supplies I requested?
Yeah, they're in here somewhere.
Wonderful. By the
I,
way, we had a 90% coupon on our customer package. I hope you used my phone number.
oh, Ashley has a question. There we go.
Awesome. You can get ready for Windows 11, and we'll talk to Miss Ashley in a minute.
Oh, okay, cool.
As soon as I find my cards. Sorry, guys. We had dinner out with friends and a computer delivery to do and got into this deep conversation that apparently took longer than we thought on the drive home because we were talking and he was driving.
Hey, I do drive like Grandma Moses on her way to church on Sunday morning, but
On a Friday night.
well, it takes a while to get to the church. Over the river, through the woods, uphill both directions in the snow.
All right, let's look at Ashley's question first, and I'll answer Squidward's question too.
Well, no, it's not the question for Squidward. It's the question about Squidward for the mother-in-law.
Uh-huh. We've already discussed Squidward. She has so Betty.
I'm just there with, if you've called him Squidward, I think we've answered all questions.
No. All right, Ashley, what's going on with your life? Is you asked for money. It's being delivered. It's your question which one you take it. I think you should go after the money, girl. Look for that golden change, cash it in. Be the king of pentacles here. Who's going to pay you more?
Oh, Ashley's like, I'll send y'all a picture. I'm just saying.
Yep. All right. So up to Mr. Squidward for Ashley's mother-in-law, 9/29/71. He'll try, but honey, do you really want? Like, we talked last Tuesday about you learning to stop shopping in the clearance aisle for men. Please go ahead and go with the younger one. He'll at least keep you entertained and happy, has at least a decent job, and at least doesn't lie to you.
There you go. But Squidward, really?
Please, I've had nicknames for lovers worse than that. No, he does not look like Mr. Squidward. All right. So then Miss Kathy.
So Kathy, 7/28/62. My stepdad died, so need to know if Stephen will give me extra money to get there and back, and will my evil sister leave me alone?
Well, I think your evil sister will leave you alone while you're there. Stephen does give you the money to get there and back, but I feel like it's still a heartbreaking situation. Like, the whole thing is really bad. And I don't think you can dress up a funeral.
Well, true. Oh, Ashley. Right now she has Squidward and Megamind.
Neither.
What evil villain factory is she trying to grab out of the dumpster at?
She really should go for a Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone should go for a Doctor Who. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, apparently, Pinky, you don't pre-think Doctor Who too much about me.
What? Long flowy hair?
It's getting there. It's getting there. That's an adjustment for you.
Oh, Ashley says a white man?
I don't know how to say this politically correct. I believe the term would be creamy chocolate. I think it's time for her to look at all the colors of the rainbow and their blendings and find one that fits her needs, her intelligence, and makes her feel special.
There we go. And stop shopping at the evil villain reject factory. Like, my God. Evil villain outlet mall? What the hell?
What? I think this is a wonderful way to categorize exes.
Evil villain outlet mall?
Yes.
Oh.
It's better than calling them constellations. You know, black holes.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know, for the little Dorth ones.
Oh, well, hey. This is wrong.
In multiple directions, honey. Oh. So we learned, well, we're talking about this a couple weeks ago, and it has now occurred.
Ooh, so mother-in-law wants to know, is there certain signs she should be looking for? She's a Libra.
She wants to stay away from Pisces because he'll bore her to death. Sagittarians are dangerous in general for her. Another Libra, again, you'll get nowhere. Y'all guys won't be able to decide where to go eat at. Aries will excite her, but it's a fast-drawn one. Tauruses are long, steady, slow, like she likes. Geminis are liars for her. She can't deal with them.
So the only good one I've heard so far is Taurus.
Tauruses are good. Tauruses work well. Cancers would be okay, but they're going to have they're going to be wanting house and marriage and all that. You got to watch out for them because they like to be at home, and she really wants to be more out and about. Let's move on down the line. Virgos, stay away from Virgos. Libra and Virgo is an intelligent connection of destruction. Communication has to be worked on with those.
Well, she's apparently already had the ex-husband who's a Cancer.
Yeah.
And that sentence pretty much tells you probably everything you need to know right there, doesn't it?
Yeah. Capricorns would actually be entertaining to her. Their mental calculations alone would keep her interested, which is unusual. Capricorns are hard to match up. Aquarians is another one that would be good for her. Again, the calculation of the mental game that would go on in the courting alone is entertaining.
So Taurus, Capricorn, and Aquarians?
Yes.
There you go. There's your three. Taurus, Capricorn, and Aquarian. That's what you're looking for.
And if she's just wanting a fling, Sagittarius will be good for that. Scorpios, not so much. She won't like their mouth.
Ooh, Ashley says, what about Sagittarians?
They're lovely for flings. One night stands that last more than one day, that's wonderful.
Well, there you go.
And Leos, don't even go with Leos. Leos and Libras are terrible.
I feel like we should have started with Ashley, Sonny, cover your ears. We need to tell your mother-in-law some things.
Yes. Not a good one either.
Ooh. Well, then again, I have like you brought Squidward in, so now I have to ask is AZ, which is how I've been pronouncing it, just yet another nickname for
Yes.
Azzy? Oh,
No. No. Ashley, I've looked at Facebook Messenger. Neither are Aeson approved.
oh no, that bad? Hold on, I try to close Facebook down anymore when we start the show. Like I have missed things. Oh, he has a long. A to Z. I got it. Awesome. Complicated name. Just throw some letters at it. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So
Oh,
tell us about this Windows bullshit. It's going to
oh,
cost us
Windows
about 1,000.
yearly. So no, I mean, like right now, I still haven't gotten to look at Windows 11. I'm getting more upset minute by minute that every computer I come across is Windows 11 approved. Yours will be Windows 11 approved. Like he literally just has to sit there and go turn secure boot on, and his is good to go. Mine is the one we got to drop like I don't know, at least 600, if not more, just to get it there. But no, Windows 11, it is out now. It came out this week. We told you on Tuesday, however, don't hop into that immediately. And the reason I say that, as a general rule of thumb, do not jump into brand new operating systems the minute they pop out. There are always issues. There will always be issues. Um, that release date is really great for the more techie among you, to go ahead and like jump in and figure out some problems and report some problems and figure out, what's going on there. Because as much as they do test, there's always certain combinations of hardware that just don't work,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to work around them.
Right.
And so if you're thinking you're going to hit that button and you're going to get your lovely new Windows 11 experience, um, you might,
Mm-hmm.
or you might get a giant headache,
Right.
trying to figure out why it doesn't work, because a large part of what makes it possible to quickly and easily fix Windows is the ability of other people to suffer on your behalf and come up with solutions and understandings as to why these things happen and what you need to do to fix them.
Mm-hmm.
So never rush in. Usually want to give it a little while. I would personally recommend at least a month. If you can
Mm-hmm.
hold off like November 5th, go ahead and click that button. Um, at very minimum, give it 2 weeks. Like if you just can't wait, at least try to wait 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
The longer you can go up to about 3 months, the better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it brings some new stuff. One of the big giant things is, I believe, still looking like we're going to get the ability to run Android apps in Windows.
Which will be amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really kind of changing or integrating the app environment of Android
Mm-hmm.
into the Windows experience.
Yeah.
We had already started to kind of see a little bit of that with the Microsoft Store.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly, but yeah, some of that was there. Oh, Ashley's trying out a Mac. Awesome.
We're getting interested in Mac with some of the production we're doing. We're not going to spend $2,000 on it though.
Oh, only 2,000? Like, that's the problem with Mac is, like, you can burn some money quick on Mac.
Right.
But, yeah, no, Macs can be a lot of benefit.
Right.
Oh, good deal. Ashley found one for $1,200. Very nifty.
Very nifty.
Now, okay, that's a 21-inch iMac. I have one question. Do you know what processor you have? Because if it says Intel, that's a scary situation to be in with Mac. Because no, good deal. Good job. Good job. Very proud. Or nope, you don't know. Sorry, I guess I misunderstood. Okay, so fun news on the Mac side of the world. A little while back, quite a while back, Intel started producing chips, the processors, for Macintosh, for Apple, to build your Mac computers. And that was all going, well, pretty badly. As in, Intel was not releasing new chips fast enough. You were starting to see a real disparity between Intel hardware for Windows and Intel hardware for Mac. What fundamentally came out of that was Apple told Intel to go screw itself, and they would build their own system on a chip. And what they've effectively done is they have moved the chips they're using for their iPads and iPhones and are basically reuse that design to make a system on a chip for their computers. And that is the new Mac standard, is what they're doing. The problem with that is we're not sure how much longer support for the Intel-based chips will continue.
Mm-hmm.
And you will also notice a lot of apps are going to slowly quit working on those Intel chips over time.
Right.
Because why support a platform that no one's using?
Exactly. Which is problematic.
Yeah. That's my only warning, is there's a lot of good deals to be had on the older Intel systems, and they can be fine for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a total, like, write-off, but be careful.
Right.
If you're going to plunk... Ooh, Ashley has an Intel Core chip. Yeah, that $1,200 price on a 21-inch iMac kind of gave it away. And that's a perfectly fine chip, and I will say for a little while that machine will be fine for you.
Right.
I will say that. I'm just letting you know ahead so you don't get the shock and, horror. You will eventually encounter a version of Mac OS that it will not upgrade to because there will be no Intel support. And you may see some apps slowly over time that no longer support the Intel chip. That you must be on the new system on a chip Macs.
Right.
I know it's kind of
yeah, but at the same time, we may be looking at 2 to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that we have gotten to the age where computers used to be an investment that normal people invested every 5 years on. 5 to 6 years, it was time for a new one.
Well, and there's been a whole revolution in how we think about buying computers, from corporations on down to your everyday consumer.
Mm-hmm.
At one point you thought about a computer as a 25-year investment.
Right.
Then you thought about a computer as a 10-year investment, and then as a 5-year investment. And then as every few years, if I can eke out 5, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you throw a lot of money at it and go, well, maybe I can make 7 years.
Right.
But no, we're almost, and Apple really pushes this hard. down to the same cycle as cell phones, maybe a little bit longer.
Right.
Which is 2 years is kind of pushing it, and then it goes mid-range.
Right.
At best.
Right.
So any more basically plan to plunk down money for a computer probably about every couple of years.
Right.
Now the upside to that is that does end up reducing repair expenses.
It does.
Because you don't fix machines that only live for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, how much do you want to spend fixing a phone that you're going to replace in a few months?
Right.
So when you start kind of, and granted, it's all horrible for the environment. It truly is. But at the same time, you do predominantly start to treat your systems differently, and you expect different from them.
Right.
But yeah, no, definitely use it till it dies. Any computer, feel free to use it till it dies.
Right.
But now death has taken on a lot of different meanings anymore. In terms of like this Windows 11 situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a move on to Windows 11 that'll probably occur over the next year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
At which point you may find yourself, if you're still running Windows 10, that's just not gonna cut it anymore.
Right.
And we see that. And for some things, it'll still continue to work great.
Right.
But there are things that will cease to function, will quit being supported, will not see any more security updates, will slowly stop working.
Right.
It's sort of like if you load up a computer with Windows 95, Windows 3.1, Windows 98, any of the older versions of Windows, they work. You
Right.
can install apps. There are things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
They're obviously going to be slower. And when you start talking about the internet, you're going to have a vastly different experience.
Right.
As you go through the different versions of versus what you would have today.
Right.
So, it's not that necessarily they die as much as are you continuing to get benefit from them.
Right. And if they're doing the job, sometimes it's doing the job.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And many home users typically end up in that situation where you just can't do what you want to do.
Right.
Now, business users actually end up on an inverse point. Like the other side of the coin is for business users, you run into systems that can't support newer, that are being maintained because they perform a function, and despite their inability to go forward anymore, their functionality cannot be immediately replaced.
Right.
Or the cost to replace them. So you'll find companies that are running some very antiquated systems out there.
Mm-hmm.
I got warned of this in college, and I kind of already had the experience when I was in high school,
Right.
during a job shadowing thing. But really nothing prepares you for the moment that you're on eBay trying to compete in an auction for used RAM, 20-year-old RAM, to keep a system in your office running.
Right.
And you're quite frankly at the mercy of whatever it takes. However much you got to pay for it.
Right.
Because the money we're going to lose if this system remains in the state it's at, it's how much could the RAM cost?
Right.
$5,000, $10,000?
Right.
Buy it. Like if that's what it costs, buy it.
Right, because then it's just spending money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
To
right.
yeah.
It's like me. If the computer dies, take me to Walmart. Let's buy what we can.
Mm-hmm. And we have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the necessity of the computer, the necessity of your phone is,
Paramount.
what the longer you don't have either one,
The
the
longer I'm
less
not
money
making
you
money.
make, or more importantly, the more money you lose by not being able to work,
Mm-hmm.
the less it matters how much it costs.
Right. And that's why I want to be working on a few other things like learning the tablet, learning the iPad, learning the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that I have options to be shooting stuff because TikTok is becoming a big part of my world, especially
Mm-hmm.
now that some things have changed. TikTok and Instagram and Facebook are now using 30-second clips called Reels.
Mm-hmm.
So that changes the market in general for sharing stuff. But I'm going to go to the TikTok psychics and, let's talk about this for a moment because I'm seeing some
Okay.
on there that I just want to like beat with a broom.
Oh, what have the TikTok witches done now?
No, this ain't the witches. They still
Oh.
need beat with a good broom. I'm talking about the TikTok psychics that are on there that are answering death questions.
Ooh. And the celebrity cause of the day, missing person things.
Yes, there are some still supposedly channeling Gabby Hanna. Gabby Hanna has not been dead for 30 days. She probably doesn't even want to talk to anybody, much less a freaking stranger. And then we add in them attempting the contact to connect with and locate the boyfriend on a 3-minute TikTok.
Ah. Oh, so Ashley is loving your video, or at least the feature on Facebook. I think
Mhm.
probably your videos too,
Yeah,
specifically. But yeah, it's too short. 30
yeah, it's
seconds.
only 30
Eh.
seconds. You get the 3-card reading in 30 seconds.
Mhm.
But, and now that, I'm posting and following and interacting with some of these, my TikTok's fucking coming over with some of these people. I've made explanations of yes, a clairvoyant can read anything. But guys, please watch these people. Please remember to be ethical and have ideas. You don't need to be doing donations for a thing that they're getting paid to do as part of the app revenue to get your
Mhm.
question answered. Especially not $40 and $50 donation for one question. Like either I'm in the wrong gambit or I need to be raising my prices. But some of these unethical questions, and there are things that we
Oh yeah.
cannot talk about. Um, we should not be talking about medical advice. We are not doctors. We can give suggestions, but we always say follow up with your doctor. You should
Mhm.
not be reading for under the age of 18. That is against the law. We will get to Dog the Bounty Hunter in a minute, honey. She's already on my pissed off list.
Oh
Uh,
no.
yeah, I'm really upset with this. I liked Dog the Bounty Hunter. I liked the show. I liked when he done the show. This trying to pitch a Netflix series to bring back his show at the same time as going in here and impeding an investigation of the FBI, I have a problem with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? I have a problem with him doing that. I have a problem with anybody trying to take away from this tragedy. I have a problem with them not talking to the police and going, what the hell? You had this woman in a domestic violence situation. You just popped her off at a hotel and told her to cool off.
Yeah, and I think the little clarification. We have issues with this case and are talking about this case in terms of the ways that pretty much everyone else is talking about this case, and should be like the what the hell happened here. Not in a way that is trying to take advantage.
Right.
And that's where we're drawing the line is wait a minute.
Right.
Like you're trying to take advantage of these people. You're trying to convert this family's personal tragedy into a new television series. Like, hi, wake up. That's no.
You're trying to convert this into your new career. Get the fuck off of it.
Yeah.
Get out of my career. Get out of my industry. There is an ethical position, an ethical way of doing this. You are not doing that.
Right.
And, you know, I'm going to be talking with one of my, it's a video in progress. We're going to be talking about psychic training and psychic laws and that type of thing. But these are old standard laws. People trying to hop on here for clout is pissing me the hell off.
It's not even hard to follow the bouncy ball on that. Like, it's just wrong.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry. I can't say that I see a lot of difference right now, if you want a hot take, between Dog the Bounty Hunter and Alex Jones we were talking about on Tuesday.
Right.
Like, both are trying to take a horrific event and get ratings.
Right.
Like, it's the same thing. Now, I will say Alex Jones went the one step further and went, okay, let's also intentionally inflict harm on others.
Right.
Using my platform. That's really the only difference I'm seeing. Otherwise, it's like there's an apples to apples here.
Right.
It's the same thing. You're just turning someone else's situation for your advantage. New.
Well, and this is getting in a little bit more ridiculous. Do you remember the Crystal Ball versus Toddy Westberg lawsuit?
Yeah, you were talking about that one for a while.
Yeah. Well, without Crystal Ball, she's being sued by Todd Chrisley. Here's my crystal ball. She had the nerve to post that she was Gabby Hanna.
Oh, good God.
And then a couple hours later, she posted the FBI had been to her house to search, and her neighbor was in the live chat. And we had this happen recently. One of our newest baristas is actually her neighbor. And she goes, there hasn't been no FBI here. There hasn't been police here since at least, you were reported for threatening your child.
Ouch. Burn.
Yeah. Okay.
Burn.
This is on live. But at the same time, I am like, you are in enough crap. There is debate. Todd Chrisley is suing you. There's 12 people suing this woman. Like, there's shut your mouth up. Go to your corner, like, I don't know, Shane Dawson, who came back to YouTube. And get your legal shit settled. Stop inserting yourself for clout grabbing, you malicious woman.
I think for some people, the only bad attention is no attention.
Right.
Like, they're just gonna.
Right.
Like, no matter what they got to do, it's just going to be about them. Benny Hanna says, Ashley, what? Oh, but no, Brenda says so many psychic switches come across as... actually, what she says is the old black street scam artist. Or quite frankly, like, there are some that come across like any scam artist. Dress them up, dress them down. There are some that just come across badly.
Right.
Like, how many times, like, please raise your hand if you've never heard the one about I need gas money because my insert significant person in most people's lives is in the hospital and I need to get there. Really? No one's not heard that one? Like, you've never been hit up with that one, really? You know, like, yeah. And I think that's the part that makes it worse.
Right.
Are the ones where it's like, could you just be original?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's one thing if you're gonna like do this unethically, if you're just gonna like be a crap person, but can you be original?
Oh, Gabby.
Oh, Gabby Hanna. Yes, Gabby.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was just trying to figure that out. I was like, Benihana? What?
Give me a minute. I will put it into all the chats because I know I'm saying her last name wrong. But Gabby, she was a YouTuber that was murdered, I say, by her boyfriend, who has now gone missing.
Well,
How
I
a
don't think
police
that's
department in Florida cannot track one man is beyond me.
well, and I don't think the stretch there's much of a stretch there between like that for anyone that she was probably murdered by the boyfriend.
Sorry.
Like I think the weirdest thing we could find out in all of this is the boyfriend had nothing to do with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at with it. Is that would be the weirdest like story
Right.
to get to and the boyfriend had nothing to do with it.
Right.
Like what?
Petito.
Oh, Gabby Petito. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Ashley, you're fine. Like we were just having a moment like, what? You're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I do. I think the finding out the boyfriend didn't do it and there's a whole other thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be the weirdest.
Oh, I think that would be not only the weirdest, but it's impossible.
Well, I have to say, if he is totally 100% completely uninvolved, innocent,
Mm-hmm.
dear God, could you just like do anything else to make yourself look guilty? Like, I do have to say that.
Right.
Like, really?
Right.
Like, I mean, that's why I keep saying it would be the weirdest thing to find out that no, he had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, you also have to sit here and look at he is someone very closely connected
Mm-hmm.
to a very high profile murder victim.
Right.
I mean, there's a theoretical world in which he knows exactly how screwed this situation is. And if he's looking for 15 minutes of fame, theoretically he could be doing all the things you shouldn't do to get it.
Well, I think he's got a little bit more fame than he needs.
Oh, tons.
They have completed the autopsy. It does look like it was brute force trauma, the cause of death. But now they got to find him because he just up and disappeared, and they can't seem to find him. Supposedly, the dog is supposedly tracking him. I'm tired of dog trying to steal the spotlight. Like, I used to have respect for him. This is causing me to lose respect, especially while he's trying to pitch it as a documentary for Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, I think across the board, bad choices.
Right.
But hey, Mary.
Hi, Mary. So that's annoying. Then, Daily Mail has broke some more Britney Spears news. I wonder how they keep getting it. But apparently, Britney Spears' lawyer is going to demand that Jamie Spears and the business manager be deposed.
I don't think anyone's surprised there. I mean, the fact that it's happening is new information, but I think we're all just waiting for the charges to drop.
I want it public. Like, I really just want it public.
You know, like I'm of two minds on that whole topic. Of like, let's like, do we make it like if this is made public, one thing, and if it's made public, I have a like two totally different minds on it.
Okay.
One sits here and says, I'm with you. I get it. I think this is going to be important for the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be drastically important to try to figure out where the lines are.
Right.
Especially if you're going to use this tool.
Right.
One, and two, if you're going to use this tool with someone that is not incapable of making their own decisions, at least not declared as such.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna set some litmus tests there.
Right.
And I think that's something everyone could learn from. Then there's the part of me that goes, oh, this is going to be so ugly. This is going to be so ugly.
Right.
That it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know that needs. That's while it's going to have a learning aspect and a very strong influence on our legal environment for that tool.
Right.
It's also going to attract a lot of people that just want to see the freak show of like, how crazy was this? What all happened? And it's going to be very much like, here's the carnival of crazy.
Right.
Rolled into town right on your TV screen, available all over YouTube, dissected 100 ways from Sunday, having nothing to do with the legal issue itself.
Well, I still think that, it has been revealed that Brittany wants to do a documentary after this of her life. I say, let's do it. This is something that needs to be changed in America. These laws are old. The way that this man has manipulated her, used her, is not only oppressive, but demonstrous.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Mary's pointing out forensic deposition will likely involve discovery of Mr. Jamie's offshore accounts. Yeah. Well, or at least, now's the time to come clean about them.
Right.
Like, you really don't want that having that thrown back at you later.
Right.
Because, yeah. I'll definitely say he's made some bad choices. Though then again, you could probably start at the very beginning of this and say, I think about the moment she turned 18, he made one bad choice after another. That they have progressively gotten steadily worse.
Right.
And wait, I did not know his wife died.
Yes.
Or are we talking about the ex-wife?
We're talking about Beth with the dog.
What?
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
The one that was the actual bounty hunter. Like, she knew her crap. Yeah. She passed away, unfortunately, from breast cancer. And yeah, he's made some very questionable choices since then.
Yeah. Sorry, I jumped tracks with that.
Yeah. So, did you hear about the Senate Judicial Committee releasing their, I believe it's 10 findings so far of this?
I'm sorry, for what?
The January 6th Judicial Committee has released some findings. I'm going to flash it over to you because it's a lot of reading, and you can do it best.
Okay. Move that over so we can look at that. Oh, wow, that is a lot of reading. All right. Ooh. Well, I just looking through it, looks like they basically found that at its fundamental of January 6th,
Mm-hmm.
goes so far beyond Donald Trump in the White House, basically stoking the fires of his base, and basically pops all the way out into how we're just simply handling contracts.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's if you really wanted to boil it all down,
Mm-hmm.
is that we've let or made a lot of assumptions
Right.
that fundamentally work around the idea of a president never doing anything like this,
Mm-hmm.
nor treating the DOJ, the Department of Justice, as their own basic puppet.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me help. Key findings. One, finding President Trump repeatedly asked DOJ leadership to endorse his false claims that the election was stolen and to assert his efforts to overturn the election results. Gee, we knew that one.
Mhm.
Finding two, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows asked the acting Attorney General to initiate election fraud investigations on multiple occasions, violating the long-standing restriction of the White House and DOJ communications about specific law enforcement matters. Finding three, after a personal meeting with Trump, Jeffrey Boston Clark pushed Rosenline and Dughow to assist Trump's election subversion scheme and told Rosen he would decline Trump's political offer to install him as acting general if Rosenstein agreed to aid in that scheme. So that's blackmail.
Well, but fundamentally, all of this boils down to nothing was ever. I don't want to say nothing was ever built. It's not like we didn't have a warning shot of Nixon.
Right.
But Nixon, I have to say, at least Nixon to some degree was an honest crook, as screwed up and contradictory as that is.
Right.
Like he never. It wasn't like Nixon sat there and just played around the rules. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like he tried to tiptoe through the gray areas.
Right.
He shot straight out into you're on your own, man.
Right.
Like, you are so off of the letter of the law.
Mm-hmm.
You screwed up.
Right.
And granted, Mary brings up a point, but it's I want to modify that point before I go into it, or as I go into it. But no, it's just so, like, Nixon was an honest crook in that regard. He wasn't in gray areas, but as Mary points out, Nixon knew when to leave and resign. I, I don't think that's true, and that is what happened. But then again, that's because we also had, I think, again, some of like Nixon's own honesty in there. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't do anything good,
Mm-hmm.
or, well, in that situation, it's not like what he was doing was good.
Right.
But he had enough good within him to recognize his own dishonor,
Right.
and enough people around him that would call him to the carpet for what he did.
Mm-hmm. And then, we have number four, Trump's allies, with links to Stop the Steal movement and the January 6th insurrection, participating in pressure campaign against the DOJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're naming names here. U.S. Representative Scott Perry of Pennsylvania, 10th Congress District. Doug Margren, a Republican state senator from Pennsylvania. Chet Mitchell, a Trump campaign legal advisor. Finding 5. Trump forced the resignation of U.S. Attorney Beijing Po, and I know I said that incorrectly, whom he believed was not doing enough to address false claims of the election fraud in Georgia. Trump then went the outside line of succession, naming acting U.S. attorney, bypassing first assistant U.S. attorney Kurt Epstein, and instead appointing Bobby Charles because he believed Christian would do something about his election fraud claims.
Mm-hmm.
The 6th finding, by pursuing false claims of the election fraud before votes were certified, DOJ deviated from a long-standing practice meant to avoid inserting the DOJ itself into an issue in an election. It isn't their place.
Mm-hmm.
These are the first 6 things coming out of this.
Right. Well, and as Mary points out, Nixon was a licensed attorney, UNC Chapel Hill Law School.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, to some degree, where I'm at with this.
Right.
Is you had Nixon who fundamentally understood what he was doing was wrong.
Right.
He knew it before he did it. And he fundamentally, one of 2 things had to happen, however you want to view the Nixon situation. He either knew what he was doing was wrong from the beginning and made it up as he went along,
mm-hmm.
or he knew what he was doing was wrong and at best was planning a crime the whole way through.
Right.
You know, that this is a working plan. Fundamentally, I think it was probably the second. Literally 45, I don't think ever knew that any or had the capacity.
Right.
And I'm not, before anyone wants to watch this and hop on and go, oh, I'm dissing Trump on this one. I mean, literally lack of understanding of the law.
Right.
To understand that what you are asking everyone to do, what you are doing, what the things that you are trying to force
mm-hmm.
have so many problems legally.
Right.
And that you can't, and your understanding of the law and your understanding of how the law works is that if you show up big enough with enough money, you can just make it all go away.
Right.
Funny thing, while you can outlive, overwhelm, outspend, and bury a civil litigant that is, you know, a tenant,
right.
a vendor, a bank,
right,
potentially, really effing hard to do to the United States government.
Right.
Like, that's a lot of resources.
Right.
Like, you kind of brought a knife to a nuclear fight on that one.
Mm-hmm.
In comparisons here. Like, it's not going to go away.
Right.
It doesn't go away. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, something else coming out is a whistleblower about Capitol Police. I'm sending that to you for you to do hot reaction to.
Oh, okay. Bringing that one up now. Oh, Capitol Police leaders acted with intent and malice on January 6th. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. I go with this is not new information. Like, I think it's puts a point on, on the needle.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's like the needle's not new. We all knew it was coming to that point.
Mm-hmm.
In that everything that was said about the ability of leadership
Mm-hmm.
on that event was they were effectively told blind-eyed, deaf ear, get out of our way.
Mm-hmm.
That this event is going to occur. You're really not supposed to stop it.
Right.
Like, this is your president's moment of thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Take one for the team. Go take a smoke break.
Right.
Take a walk.
Right. Or sat there and still blinkingly at the screen doing nothing as officers and officials were fighting for Congress in their lives. The whistleblower says these allegations that these two, and those two, you're going to have to pronounce the names for me.
Sorry, I lost it and found it. So Sean Gallagher
Mm-hmm.
and Yoganada Pittman.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna hope I got that one right.
Blinking,
If not,
looking at the TV screen, showing real footage of officers and officials fighting for Congress in their lives. It is the whistleblower's allegations. These two acted with intent and malice opinion to not try and assist officers or officials, blaming others for their failures, and chose to try and use this event for their own personal promotions.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's definitely a moment, and we see this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And often in situations, not that I think this is one that you can go, mea culpa, I fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
and not face penalties
Right.
and problems and issues and lawsuits and all across the board. But we also see this a lot in situations where people just keep doubling down and trying to find a way out of a situation, or at least responsibility for a situation.
Right.
Like, no matter how dead to rights they are. And sometimes I think it's honestly the moment of all you can do is try.
Right.
And as in, you're going to lose.
Right.
Like, if you admit to this, like, it's over, it's done, it's a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is try and live with that hope that maybe you'll magically blame the right person, say the right thing, move the right way, that you can salvage something, or you can find the right person to put under the bus and walk away. That you already know that the end outcome is probably dire, no matter which direction you go. So go with the one that gives you hope. As horrible as that is in this situation, I really feel like that's what a lot of the people that have been involved in this have done.
Yeah.
Is go, yeah, I know, I fucked up, I did a horrible thing, and for all the wrong reasons, and you got me dead to rights, but maybe if I dance hard enough.
But you don't go and lie and go, oh, we were doing our best and we were trying. No. These people have lied in their letters to Congress. They've lied in their testimony to Congress over this event. Over and over again, especially Pittman, who allegedly lied to Congress about the intelligence report delivered just days before the riot. Pittman served as acting chief of the force after the force's chief resigned, but she returned to her role as head of intelligence in August, following a vote of no confidence from rank-and-file officers.
Well, again, what other choice? Like, the other choice is the mea culpa, I screwed up.
Right. Well,
you got me dead to rights. I absolutely screwed up. I screwed this up. did it intentionally. I'm a horrible person. And fundamentally that's, how this is coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's legitimately where the situation is at, is let me dance and see if I can, get out of this alive.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely I'm not gonna, but let me dance and see what I can do. Maybe, just maybe, I can somehow salvage a career. Maybe I can somehow keep my pension. Things like that. But I don't think any of this is a surprise to anyone, especially not to Pittman. I think the lies were known lies before they were even typed.
Right. And I think that, they need to be charged with lying to Congress. They need to be forced to actually tell that, yes, they knew this shit was going on. They were told to shut up by the people above them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that all this needs to come out, and some prosecution, some real prosecution needs to be happening. This was a coup.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was watching CNN, and it was one of the ones from the Justice Committee said, "Oh, well, history won't remember them favorably." Fuck history. Put their asses on trial now.
It's not about being remembered favorably or unfavorably by history.
Right.
Like, we're so beyond that part.
Right.
We need to ensure this never happens again.
Yes.
How do we make sure this never happens again? This cannot happen again. This cannot become the end of every election, turns into a literal riot.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot happen.
Right.
And that's fundamentally where it goes to. But as for this aspect of it, no, I'm not the least bit surprised someone's going to try to dance their way out of it.
Way out of it.
Kind of reminds me of a thing we were talking about the other day. That just little backstory here. So last year on our anniversary, we did Narcan training.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, our anniversary has come and gone this year, and that prompted me to remember that our Narcan is expiring because we got it about a month later. So while I'm at the health department to get, my injection, for my booster, I asked, hey, what do I got to do to, replace these? And I actually got told, no, keep the old ones. Use them if you need to. Because as we used to say in the ER, you don't get any more dead.
Right.
So at some point, it may not be the ideal thing to administer, and certainly not the first one you want to grab.
Right.
In an overdose situation, to get the old Narcan first. But if you already shot the 2 new ones,
right,
and they're still not breathing,
right,
you don't get more dead. You're not going to kill them more. Go for the, third or fourth shot with the old ones.
Right.
Can't get more dead.
Exactly.
And I think that's where a lot of the contributors to the January 6th riot are.
Mm-hmm.
Is they're dead. They know they're dead. They can't get more dead. I mean, granted, you could sit there and argue that, like, they may not face as many issues as they are potentially facing.
Mm-hmm.
If on top of everything they did, they get caught up in things like perjury.
Mm-hmm.
But fundamentally, they already know that like, we're tinkering with degrees of the hell you're going to burn in.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really matter? You're
Right.
already in hell. Like, you can't get more in hell as your outcome. You're just screwing with the thermostat.
Right. Well, as we're talking about something else this week, and it pissed me the hell off.
Okay.
The baby comment.
The baby comment?
Yes, the disrespect our governor paid to one of our city's
Oh,
largest
God.
mayors. Tell them about that real quick, and I'll be right back.
Oy vey, guys. Alrighty. So, our dear, wonderful governor took it as an idea that in response, yeah, baby comment. So took it as an idea that when responding to Amy Goodwin, the Charleston mayor, who has recently sent him a letter detailing some things she would like to see occur, and be pushed by the governor, as a political platform that he wants to get on board with, regarding using Charleston's models regarding substance abuse, homelessness, and mental health. Our governor replied back in a COVID briefing that, listen, Amy baby, if you can get this through Congress, I'm on board. Yeah, he went there. Um, yeah. On one hand, I will say, and I'm not even sure that was the governor's issue, that sitting here trying to, use Charleston as a statewide model for dealing with mental health, substance abuse, and homelessness is necessarily a good idea. But replying back to her publicly in a really sexist way, a very diminutizing way, and very insultingly, not a better idea by any stretch.
Right. Like, it only disrespects her as a woman, it disrespects the office of mayor of Charleston.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and keep in mind, I'm not on board with her idea.
Right. I don't care
I'm
for
not
her
on
idea
board.
at all. Her idea has failed. She's touting helping only 200 people in Charleston with homelessness.
Yeah. Yeah, 80 people into substance use rehabilitation, something like 200 with that have been helped with mental health. And this is not to say that, like, those 200, those 80 people don't matter. It's that if you look at other programs in the state, they're helping many more people.
Right.
Just point blank, they are helping many more people, and these programs do not come with the strings and attachments that Charleston and Kanawha County specifically, or more broadly, have implemented.
Well,
That fundamentally make their utilization rates lower.
right. Well, what's interesting is the Covenant House. This is a charity I have supported for a long time in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, their programs helped 2,215 people from becoming homeless, according to new data released in 2019. 9 out of 10 people who came to Covenant House for help are from West Virginia, and the majority are men and women in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? She helped 200 with her program. I'd rather see the Covenant House program be put throughout the state.
Absolutely. And that's our point. And more importantly, yes, we're attacking her idea.
Yeah.
I'm doing so as respectfully as I think any of us can, is that the data's not there.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, Mayor of Charleston, your idea doesn't help as much as you seem to think it will. And there are much better solutions.
Right.
That has been well evidenced across the state. And no, I don't think this is a model that the state of West Virginia should even attempt, unless we want to seriously help fewer people.
Right.
Again, I can do all that without basically leaving a ... that says, now get back in the kitchen and make me a fucking sandwich.
Right. Like our dumb governor did. Of course, it's also funny that, Thursday he was trapped in his elevator in the governor's mansion, the one that the judges had to force him to live in.
The mansion, not the elevator.
The mansion. I think he should be forced to live in an elevator. Or better yet, I think that, all political officials in the United States should only make minimum wage for the hours worked, no reimbursement for anything else, with a staunch legal requirement that any kickbacks, any additional fundings have to be turned into the government to go directly to our debt ceiling. Wow.
Seems simple enough.
Yeah. I wonder how fast that minimum wage will get higher and changed.
Oh, one would think. One would think.
Mm-hmm.
Though, then again, you also have to look at political office as everything else that comes attached.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some things just don't have a paycheck. And we saw that with Bill Cole.
Right.
He basically got to write legislation that directly affected his profession, as a car dealer. He basically wrote out lemon laws. He removed the ability of kiosk sale of vehicles, meaning you cannot go online and have a vehicle delivered. You have to sell a vehicle in the state of West Virginia, you must have a presence in the state of West Virginia. So you, in turn, effectively have to have a car dealership. So, yeah, I am sure that legislation was worth more than any paycheck he was ever going to receive signed by the state of West Virginia.
Right, but those laws should not have been allowed to be passed with his vote or his sponsorship. That is
even if they
ethical charge.
Right, and even if they like, even that has very little influence, because when you're looking at your fellow representatives with that legislation, effectively it's going to be very clear that this is a backslapping institution, that he would want these laws, that he would want this legislation, and one vote would vote for that, should have been where it ended. Everyone else in the room, or many others in the room, voted with him.
Right.
Because they knew that this was a tit for tat situation.
Right.
I scratch your back, you scratch mine. I vote for the legislation that protects your business interests. You vote for the legislation that protects my business interests.
Right.
Or gets me reelected for another couple years. Or does X, Y, and Z.
Right. But, this is the problems. We continue to have professional politicians that need to be removed. 4 years, 8, you give them 8. We'll give them 8 years. 8 years, then you're out. No retirement. You don't get retirement for 8 years of service. You don't get a pension for 8 years of service. Why are we doing it to our government? Why are we allowing our government to do this to us?
It is very confounding. Yes.
Why are we paying our government more than we do to pay our children? Why do we pay one senator in our government, Turtle Mitch, you're in my target range, more than we pay to feed children hot meals at school?
Very much, Mary. It is the lobbyist dance.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so.
Yep.
But no, it's a very heartbreaking system. Especially when you realize that, and I guess the insult to injury is finding out that the taxpayer money they receive is just one drop in a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
As in, this, which should actually be a significant amount of money to them, isn't. It isn't.
Right.
There's so much more money to be made.
Right. But again, if we drop those salaries and block those additional things, like they cannot receive gifts, they cannot receive kickbacks, they cannot receive any benefits. Their private businesses have to go into a trust situation. I think we would see a lot more changes.
I have a question, and you may not want to answer this one, and especially perhaps not on air. I invariably know you get into situations where people ask, is he cheating on me?
Right.
Can I point out that you answer this question for the client while you're on the phone with them?
Right.
At no point do you stop and go, you know, before I answer this, I really need to consult my spirit guides, and then turn around, track down the husband, and go, you know, your wife, your spouse over here, is currently gonna pay me like $30 to tell her that your ass is screwing around on her like you would not fucking believe. For 30 grand, I'll keep quiet and say, no, he isn't.
One, I will never do that.
I know you will never do that. But can I point out that effectively, this is what you make for being honest?
And
I'm sure you will find some spouses, or could, that would pay a very dear, steep price, like a lobbyist, to do what they want you to do, to say what you want them to say. But you are sitting here running your business more ethically than the bulk majority of the politicians in this country.
Right.
Like, stop and let that process for a second, is where I'm at. Is like, I know there have got to be psychics, though, that have stopped and thought about it. Is I could make so much more goddamn money. So much more money. If all I did were consult my spiritual guides, which meant go find the motherfucker that's cheating on your ass and offer him a counter deal. Because now, like, that's an old movie trope, basically role switch. For like private detectives, it's one of the like old movie tropes. Like, it's been around for a long time. That the wife hires the PI to go find out if the husband's cheating. The PI gets paid off by the husband who is cheating to go tell the wife, I couldn't find nothing. Not nothing. No. Nope. All those times he works late, he's helping little old ladies across the street and, you know, reading to the blind.
Right. But again, one, I wouldn't do that. But two, that's what's currently going on in our country. That's what I feel should be illegal. Professional lobbyists, make them illegal. You cannot be a professional lobbyist in the country. You cannot be hired by an, pain clinic. There's a person I will have a coffee chat with because she just doesn't work. She can't work into our schedule. She works at trying to get pain patients right. She's done wonderful in Rhode Island, and working with pain patients. the amount of money she has to raise to pay a professional lobbyist to talk to these idiots is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
in general, no, I wouldn't do that. Do we currently have that in our system? Yes. Does it need to change? Oh, yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Furthermore, he should have to he should have to publicly apologize to this Madam Mayor, publicly, on the steps of the Capitol. And I don't understand why West Virginians aren't demanding it from their employee, who can't even operate an elevator, who had to be forced to live in the governor's mansion, who was more concerned with being the coach of a high school football team that he filed a grievance with the Board of Education than he was about that same basketball team being safe in their classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's
He's
where
been a
West
nightmare.
Virginia politics are at. That's where United Senate and United Congress is at. Why Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, snapping turtle looking face he is allowed to hold up our government to fit his agenda is beyond me. Why he drains the poor Kentuckians of every bit of their life.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a very screwed up system when you sit and think about it.
Right.
That fundamentally, we have what because what always gets me, we're electing people that are supposed to represent we the people
Mm-hmm.
and make good decisions legally for our benefit. Yet that system fundamentally often looks at the very people
Mm-hmm.
that any legislation would negatively, adversely affect, and will gladly take money from them to not do that and go back to the people and tell them, no, you don't understand. Let me explain it to you differently. Let me stoke your fear of unemployment, of socialism, of etc.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's how broken that is.
Right.
That's just such, like, and it never ceases to amaze me. That's how broken that is.
Right. Well, it's like Idaho. Did you hear about their lieutenant governor who decided to be governor one day while the lieutenant was off checking out the southern border?
No, I missed that one.
Outlawed mouse mandates. The lieutenant governor doesn't have a power to do that. Called up the National Guard to send them to the southern border. Lieutenant governor doesn't have power to do that because the governor is still the governor, even though he's out of the state.
Yes.
It was another outrageous thing, and the governor had to call and tweet retractions of these orders and remind the lieutenant governor, you don't have those powers. I am still governor of the state, even if I am not in the state.
Like, I'm not incapacitated or dead.
Exactly. Because if that was the facts, Lord knows I would chip in to send lovely Governor Justice to Tahiti for the rest of his
Term. Yes.
I think every West Virginian with a mind and a brain would chip in.
Oh, yeah.
Or drop me off in South Florida where DeSantis is. That way them two could, chime together, share COVID together, sink into the ocean together.
I'm sure they'll get along.
Yeah.
Of course, then again, do we want to be so cruel to Florida? I mean, It's Florida. They've done some cool things. Don't ask me to name them, but they've done some cool things.
They've created some interesting Google searches, because if you type in Florida man and a date, it'll pull up a case.
It will. They entertain us. So if nothing else, Florida entertains us.
They contain the psychos. Okay, I can see the benefit there. Both of sending justice down there, but also, the very fear that of DeSantis and Governor Abbott, both of them have ambitions to be president. If this country has common sense, neither will get past this term.
Oh, even Mary says I lived in Florida between 83 and 87. It is a weird place.
Yes, but it has alligators and crocodiles.
You would think that would fix some of its own problems.
I think they contain them too much.
No. Stop and realize. These are the people that survived the Darwin race that is Florida. There were worse people that died. Do you ever imagine how much uglier could it be?
No, I'm just trying to figure out what next they're going to bring to the United States. They now have a large population of boa constrictors in Florida. They have alligators in Florida. What's the next animal that's going to be wild down there? Cheetahs? Tigers?
It's Florida. Anything can happen.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. But no. Sometimes things boggle me. This is a state that has a lot of Darwin traps.
Mm-hmm.
That means there are people that die every year in those Darwin traps.
Mm-hmm.
That could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Darwin cleared a few from the board. These are the people left on the board. I'm just looking and going, how screwed up were the people that got cleared from the board?
Wouldn't that be an interesting board game?
Well, yes.
Take it like Monopoly, except turn it into Darwin.
Oh, and then Mary's got a question for you.
Okay.
Or Kathy's got a question for you.
Well,
Sorry about that, Kathy.
Ashley has a question for me.
Okay. Oh, I'm trying to catch up. Oh, so Ashley, 82696, what is going on with my relationship right now?
Okay. Well, of course, we have you stressing and worrying. We have Sonny making more sacrifices than he's able to, so, that takes a downfall. We have both of you trying to fit in traditional roles when you two aren't traditional. Y'all guys tend to make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. And then there's also financial stress that's going on now. So if we any all that out, I think you both are coming full circle and coming to realization there are some things you just need to sacrifice on both sides of this playing field because it's tired of arguing with it.
Okay. All right. Kathy, 72862. Sorry, I had to scroll back up to grab her birthday real quick. Peanut still throws up, but otherwise seems okay. Is he okay or in pain?
I feel he has an ulcer. That can be painful, but it's not a bleeding ulcer. He needs stomach medicine. See a veterinarian, please. A real vet, not an executioner.
Yeah, find a good vet.
Yep.
Alrighty, and then Mary has a question as well.
Mm-hmm.
112857. Is there hope for reconciliation between J and S?
No. Move on. Much better predicament earlier. But J and S both. One has emotional issues they don't want to deal with. The other one has self-esteem issues they don't want to deal with. If you tie them together, it's like a knot in a hay nest, and it's just trouble.
Oh, and taking on Brenda's comment, Florida Man wasn't the Darwin Award winner. That's scary. It is, isn't it?
Well, see, you bring up Darwin, but you get mad at me every time I want to fix the Darwin situation.
Well, okay. Now, granted, here's my little thing though. Is I think there are inevitable things in life that are just like 100% Darwin awards. They are the things that anyone has more than ample evidence this is a bad idea. Like, alligators and like wrestling them. This is a bad idea. But you have chosen, knowing the risk, understanding the risk, hearing the risk, to do the thing. You do the thing and the thing eats you. Nah, that's a fair Darwin Award. You had the warning, you still did the thing. You deserve it. You got your Darwin Award.
Thank you, Brenda, for stating my point beforehand.
Take all warnings off everything. Gene pool would go up some.
It would clear out some of it, especially on ladders. I do not understand why my ladder is covered in stickers. It looks worser than the stickers from the 1980s when they had all the rainbow bears and everything else.
What?
The stickers from the 80s that we had them definitely in school. There were pages of stickers with rainbow animals and rainbow teddy bears and bright shiny colors all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what ladders look like.
Okay.
I am tired of buying a coffee pot that has more freaking stickers on it because it has a heating element than it needs.
Well, yeah. There are and I'm just saying, if you warn someone and they proceed to continue to do it, I don't necessarily think the warnings stop as many people as you think. I think there's a large group of people that read that and go, "No shit, Sherlock." Like, really? Someone needed to be told. And then there's other people that go, no way. I'm going to try that shit.
Do not use ladder during thunderstorm. Really?
That's my point.
Really?
Large group of people over here going, no.
Remove that letter. Remove that sticker. That's common sense. They just need one sticker at the bottom panel of the left side of the ladder that says "Use common sense."
Well, and fundamentally, that's what we do, because I don't think as many people actually end up reading all the stickers that are on the stupid ladder. Some are just not avoidable. But I say there's a whole group of people that read that is their first introduction to the concept. I think it may create more Darwin Award winners. I think there are people who read this sticker and go, no way. Let me go try that.
Who is going to use a ladder in a thunderstorm? Did we not learn from history Ben Franklin and a key?
Exactly. That's the large group. That is intelligent.
Yeah.
Then there's Darwin Award winners who go, nuh-uh. And I seriously think that the labels may actually be helping. your cause. Like, you
I
think
think the
removing
labels are
them
creating
will help?
a dangerous situation because if they get wet from, I don't know, dew, dirt, mud, they get slick. And that's the one thing you don't want to happen on a ladder.
Well, this is true. But I still say that's a smaller group
Mm-hmm.
than the people who read the labels and try it.
Mm-hmm. Now, Brenda brings up a case. A friend's doctor's office says a side of it says, do not toss your baby in the air due to ceiling fan. A man threw his child in the air under it, which was moving. Baby was hit by a fan. Dad sued and won.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Brenda here. Dad was too stupid to be breathing, much less breeding.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, again, it's one of those moments. I think if there had already been a sign, there would have probably still been a dad in that doctor's office with a baby in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, bum, bum, bum. The only difference would be the doctor doesn't get sued and have to pay out money.
Right, which is why they keep slapping on warning labels. All right, Happy Planner has a freaking warning label on it about do not smother your child.
Oh, the suffocation warning on their packaging?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Do not allow children to play with the plastic bag.
Mm-hmm. Insanity. Insanity.
I still say there are parents out there that read that, see that, and go, nuh-uh,
Uh-huh.
and do it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not saying this is a good thing by any stretch. I think it's a horrible thing, and no, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
I still think there's a subset of people that just, you can have all the warning labels humanly possible to tell them, look, stupid, don't do that.
Right.
And they're going to do it. And some, I think, just like the challenge.
Right.
To see if they can beat the odds.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be the person who ties a bag around my head and survives?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Brenda loves all the do not use in bathtub warnings. And still, you're going to find people that are like, nah, it's perfectly safe. I've done it before. It won't hurt
Uses
nothing.
a toaster in a bathtub.
Well, generally speaking, I would hope no one, but sometimes in the morning, while taking my shower, I have had the thought, it would help me a lot if I could just drop a couple of pieces of toast before I get in.
Or watches TV in the shower. Of course, we've seen showers evolve over time. Now, apparently, it should look like a dance club because now they sell LED shower heads that match the music. I wonder what the hell these people are doing in the shower.
Apparently having a small party.
Or
of at least one. They need a more festive atmosphere. Aeson keeps his life insurance paid up. No, I'm not saying I do these things. I'm just saying I know there has to be a subset.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be a subset of people that are just like, again, I could have these thoughts like, it'd be nice if I could drop in a couple of pieces of toast as I'm going into the shower. I know why not to do that. I get that part, but I've had moments where it's like, some things in life would be nice. I can sometimes understand how people win Darwin Awards. It's like if you don't think it all the way through, there's your Darwin Award.
I don't know. The only appliance that I think that we need multiples of moved throughout the house is Keurig pods. Like, I need a Keurig machine. The bedroom could use a Keurig machine.
The shower could use a Keurig machine.
No, that's nasty.
Oh, Bullshit. You know you have been in the shower and been like, God damn it, I need a cup of coffee right now.
No. I'm no. The shower would need to be moved out of the bathroom.
Okay. Oh, Bluetooth enabled Keurig machines. They exist.
Yes, they do, and they're
They do.
he and she enabled Keurig machines.
I believe there is a her one.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least there was a plan for one. Yes. Yes, with the Keurig skill for Amazon, her, you can brew coffee by using simple voice commands. See, but this is where I turn around on the idea and I go, do you know how many things you have to pre-do for that to work? Like, it's not really hands-free. Like, these are products that I'm like, I see what you did there, but you really didn't think it through. Like, you already have to have the pod in there. You already have to have a cup on the base.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have this preset and ready to go, and all you're doing is literally saying, okay, but do it now.
Right.
Like, I'm getting out of the shower. I'm start my coffee.
Mm-hmm. I could find it very useful.
But what happens the morning you forget and you make hot water, or the morning you forget and you make coffee all over the counter?
Well, again, I could use this. I could see this being very helpful to me when I've got 40 different things going on.
I would live in fear that I would try to make coffee in my sleep.
Darling, in your sleep, you try to turn everybody off.
What?
Okay, so for those that do not know, I film my daily videos and I go to bed because Aeson works nights. And the more winter comes on, the more vampirial Aeson will become. I'm laying down. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Interrupting my true crime movie to wake somebody up. And we have a rule in this house. If it is not your alarm, you don't turn it off.
Yes. Yeah, he's totally back to nights.
Yeah.
Well, he's working during the day some too. But
I'm working evenings, but totally back to nights full time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, bio clock. I was just so tired.
We're not trying to make this the new time for shows. We're really not.
Yeah, we're really not, guys. It has just been one of those weeks. So anyhow,
we just keep ending it.
I'm waiting there for him to wake up. And he screams about the Amazon woman 4 times. She doesn't listen. So he screams about the Google man 4 or 5 times. Finally, I'm sure that he is enough awake because he goes, "Hi, honey." I turn it off and turn back on my show, and I'm like, "You get up so I can go to sleep."
I have to say, I've had this problem with every alarm clock, but I will say she has made it the longest, and she is still technically functional.
Yes.
I'm not. I think I've only a few times managed to turn her off, or any of them off, and fall back asleep totally oblivious.
See, and I have the exact opposite effect with her. She doesn't even enter my dreamscape.
Yeah, she does not wake you up at all. But yeah, no, because every alarm clock I've had, like I've had the alarm clock next to my bed. I actually on one, and it was not easy to turn off. I got to the point I could do it in my sleep. I found the magic spot repeatedly and just turned it off every morning. So then I followed the advice, move it across the room so that you have to get up to turn it off. And in the course of getting up and, to turn it off, you will wake up. No, I will not. I will not. I will for a little while. Eventually, I get to the point I'm effectively sleepwalking to turn off the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
No memory formed whatsoever that my alarm went off, that I got out of bed, that I walked across the room, and I turned off the alarm.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Okay. I can turn it off and keep moving.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. The joys of alarms.
Yep.
And now I do have to say, I typically only do that when either I don't get a lot of sleep, or basically when like an alarm goes off at a weird point in my sleep cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that alarm's trying to wake me up out of like deep sleep,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, that's a hard place to wake me up from.
Right.
And get me to actually kick over. Like I gotta be like, I typically try to set my alarms on like 3-hour intervals.
Right.
Because if I catch it in between,
Right.
your results may vary. You better hope I've had at least 2 sleep cycles.
Right.
So if I haven't had at least 6 hours sleep, pulling me out of deep sleep is difficult.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's quite fun. These are fun things you learn in marriage. But guys, we're going on 2 hours, so we're going to wrap this up. Yes, we were late. We're sorry we were late. We will do better next week. This is the real life of trying to be real, and that's what we tend to be here. I don't do the whole smoke and mirror things. Um, but guys, please be watching these people. I don't care who you go to for a reading, but make sure they're good. Make sure
Yes.
they're ethical.
Yeah.
And report these that are not. Please. Also, remember your common sense. Wash your hands, wear your mask in crowded areas that you don't feel comfortable in. Make sure, if you've not been vaccinated, to get vaccinated. We have the holidays coming up. You want to enjoy those. And do your research. When I say do your research, listen to the science. Listen to the science on numbers of things. I read an article today that I had to roll my eyes and go, what bullshit is this? Then I looked it up, and it was a chiropractor writing about a surgical procedure. Really? I technically have a DR in front of my name. You wouldn't take my advice on hearts.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Your DR's unrelated to cardiology.
It very much is unrelated to anything medical.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey,
Hello, Miss
Dottie.
Dottie. I've been talking about the video me and you are going to do about psychics and education and training. We look forward to doing that.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so all right, we've hit almost 2 hours, so of course we need to thank our wonderful baristas. We love our Patreon sponsors. We specifically want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, Ashley Gish, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, and Charles Shaw. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all our wonderful barista benefits, please visit us at PCSPnetwork.com.
Yep. And also, smile. We will see you Tuesday at 9:30, the best of our abilities. And if not, we'll be here all along. Be sure to be watching our socials. Enjoy my daily videos. And hello, New Zealand's. You guys have been racking us up in our site rankings. Thank you so much for listening. And come back and listen to us again. To everyone in the world, good night. Drink your coffee. Have a safe weekend. We'll see you Tuesday at 9:30. Night, y'all.
Night.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the time.